Hello everyone, this is Tip Top Gaming here today with another MTG Arena event breakdown. So, as you know, the past 2 weeks there have been these things called festivals, and this is the last and final festival. So this will be Festival Standard Cascade. So, in the last event, we had Oko's Madness, which was an atrocious event. And the event before that, we had Artisan, which was one of the best events MTG Arena has ever seen. So, ironically, or I guess not ironically, this event seems pretty mediocre. Now, I'm going to go over everything about this event, the decks that I think will be good, all that sort of stuff here today in this video. So, why don't I first explain what this game mode is? So this game mode is basically standard, but the first spell you cast each turn has Cascade. If you don't know what Cascade is, basically, you go from the top of your deck, and you basically, whenever you cast your first spell each turn, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with converted mana cost less than that spell's. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then put the exiled cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, let's say you cast a 1 cost. It'll search your entire library for a 0 cost. Say you cast a 5 cost. It'll search your library for the first thing that has either 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0 CMC, and you can just cast that. So, decks that have a lot of either really big creatures, so like, maybe you play big, like, green boys, big green creatures, and you play a 7-cost creature, you could then end up with Gigantosaurus also on the field at the same time. Now, that's not standard, but that was just my one example here. So, why don't we look at the banned list, because there is a quite extensive banned list. So, we have Deafening Silence, Rule of Law, Fae of Wishes, Flaxen Intruder, Lavinia, Azorius Renegade, Teferi Time Raveler, Field of the Dead, and Lucky Clover. Now, I'm going to show you what each of these cards do, and I'm going to explain why they're banned. So why don't we head over to this. Deafening Silence. Now, this was banned because, well, it limits the amount of spells each player can cast, so it basically just disables the event. So this basically says, hey, you can only cast 1 non-creature spell per turn. So if you cast some spell, if you cast Fires of Invention, boom, now, and then you pull Shock, for instance, you can't cast it. So that is kind of upsetting, and that's the same reason that Rule of Law, except Rule of Law just says they can't cast more than 1 spell, so that would be even more powerful in this situation. It basically just eliminates the entire point of the game. Then we have Fae of Wishes. Now, the reason that this one is banned is because technically this thing has CMC 2, but I believe if you pull it up, you can cast this part of it for like the 2 parts. You could cast a 3 cost, find this, and cast the granted part. So that would be a little overpowered. Then we have Flaxen Intruder, which is the same reason. You could just pay 7. It only costs 1, and then you could create 3 2/2 bears. So you could, you could really manipulate this. This could be the only 1 cost in your deck, and then basically it says whenever you cast a 2 cost, create 3 2/2 bears. So that'd be a little crazy. Then we have a Lavinia, which also says players, it basically just, her ability also just eliminates the point of the game. So that's why that was banned. Teferi's banned because, I don't know, you can only cast spells anytime you could cast a sorcery, I assume, so you wouldn't be able to cast spells. So a lot of these are just to allow the mechanic to work. Now, this next one, Field of the Dead is banned because, who wants Field of the Dead? Thank God. And then Lucky Clover is banned. Now, this is because adventure decks would be very, very good in this format because you could cast their higher adventure side for, like, a cheaper cost. So they banned that to try and weaken the deck. Now, why don't we jump into the rewards? Now, we've talked about basically what the event is and the banned cards. Why don't we talk about the rewards? So, for getting 1 win, you get Rimrock Knight. 2 wins, you get Falmir Knight. You get Fae of Wishes, which ironically is banned in this. Then you get Lovestruck Beast. Then you get Realmcloak Giant. So, Realmcloak Giant, Lovestruck Beast, Fae of Wishes, those all have some standard play. I mean, Falmir Knight sees a little bit of play. And Rimrock might see some play in a couple red decks, but not really. So, generally, these cards are pretty good. They managed to pick the best cards to do as these rewards. Of course, this does cost 2,500 coins to enter, so I can't just say everyone should play this event. I think these styles are really awesome looking, so I recommend you play the event, especially because they're events, and events are kind of fun. I actually am 75 coins off, but I'll have that by the time this starts up in 34 hours, probably sooner by the time you're reading this. So, what do I think is going to do well? Now, they did ban Lucky Clovers, which is the biggest part of, like, the adventure deck. I still think there will be an adventure deck, just using cards that aren't like that. Honestly, I see Mono Green doing well because they ramp, or like Simic Ramp. I see Simic Ramp doing really well because you ramp up to big spells, and then the bigger the spell, the more targets you can hit. So I think it's a high chance that Simic Ramp is just going to see a lot of play. So I'll probably just play my Simic Ramp deck, which I could probably use some upgrading. But yeah, I'll probably play this instead of, or this will probably be my main deck here. Because, I guess I don't have that much expensive stuff. It might be a little more top heavy because Hydroid, Krasis, and all that. The Hydras don't work very well with this. So it would probably make more sense to not run it with Hydras because they would just enter either as 0/1s or 0/0s. So you probably want to replace the Hydras with just big creatures. But other than that, that's probably what I'll be running. Overall, I think this event is going to be... I think Artisan's going to be the most fun of the festivals. Oko's Madness is going to be the worst festival. And this festival is going to be right there in the middle. I think that the rewards for this are kind of nice. I think I have every single one of these cards, which is good. So, yeah. I think that styles, especially now that Brawl is a big thing, are going to be really big. If you guys want to learn more about MTG Arena and all that's coming up, I will leave there's going to be a link in the description down below to a video where I talk about a bunch of new cards that are coming to MTG Arena for Historic and all that awesome stuff that's coming with the next MTG Arena update. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick event breakdown. If you guys did, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.